Hi class, this is Ms. Best. This is a video to make sure that you guys have your notebooks in order. So real quickly, I'm just going to go through each page that I have in my notebook, and then you can always pause or rewind the video if you need to, if you need for it to slow down so you can get your papers and stuff together. All right, so the first thing you should have are the papers that I gave you the first few days of school. It starts off with the syllabus. Then I have Building a Mathematical Community, Mathematician's Toolbox, Logins and Resources, your Math Notebook Rubric, and this is where I will be putting the grade for your notebook check, your Assignment Tracker, your Calculator shortcuts, and then comes your Table of Contents. All right, so one thing before I start going through the pages and everything like that, your table of contents does not have to match mine exactly. What's important is that it matches your notebook, so that when it's time for you to go back and review at the end of the year, or if I need to tell you to look for something to help you on an assignment, that you can go to your table of contents, find that title, find the page number, and get to it. Okay, because if it doesn't match, there's no purpose of having this. There's no use in having it. All right, so here's my table of contents, and I will go back to this and show you guys how I had to fill it out, how to add pages to it. But for right now, I'm just going to go and walk through the rest of the pages in my notebook. And if you need extras of these, they're at the front of the classroom in the file cabinet. All right, so Unit 1 was rational and irrational numbers. So the first thing I had in there is making sense of rational and irrational numbers, where we had to watch the video on hypothesis and all that good stuff. All right, then I have the illustrative mathematics task. All right, I had the illustrative mathematics task where you had to pick from those group of numbers and add or multiply them and see if the result was rational or irrational. Then I have warm-up 1.02, then warm-up 1.03, and that was the end of Unit 1. All right, Unit 2 was polynomial operations, starting with the notes on adding and subtracting polynomials, then adding and subtracting polynomials guided practice, warm-up 1.04, this is just another copy of warm-up 1.04, my master copy. Then multiplying polynomials, warm-up 1.05, roll the dice, and then you had your quiz on rational and irrational numbers and polynomial operations. That was the end of Unit 2. Now Unit 3 is characteristics of linear functions. Starting off with warm-up 1.07. Then we had graphing linear equations vocabulary. Characteristics of linear functions, ordered pairs. Characteristics of linear functions, intercepts. Characteristics of linear functions, increasing and decreasing intervals. Warm-up 1.10. Characteristics of linear functions, domain and range. Then we had the task where we talked about the movie theaters and the multiple representations. And then your test on characteristics of linear functions. After that, we started absolute value. That's warm-up 1.14. Then you had absolute value functions, notes. Then transformations of absolute value functions. And warm-up 1.15, make it happen Monday. And here is the notes that you were supposed to take in Desmus. There's the code. I just wrote that down, and then it started off with you copying a table. So your notes should start off looking like this, where you had to copy the table from the Desmond slides. And then lastly, warm up 1.16. That's the end of Unit 3. All right, Unit 4 is solving quadratic equations. So we start off with solving quadratic equations, factoring, warm up 1.07, guided practice, solving quadratic equations by factoring. This is on a sheet of notebook paper. Yours should be on a sheet of notebook paper, and we took these in class together. Then we have solving quadratic equations, zero command and intersection command. This was guided practice. Then we have 5.4 complex numbers. 5.3 solving quadratic equations by finding square roots. Your quiz. Complex numbers, independent practice. Simplifying radicals. And then the last page you should have is the quadratic formula and the discriminant. Alright, so I'm going to quickly show you guys how to add in pages on your table of contents. Then I'm going to be going over what I'll grade your notebook on. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my table of contents. And I'll put just a picture up of my table of contents once this video is uploaded. But I ended on 43 and 40, on page 43 through 44, absolute value functions. So I need to go to that page. I know it's in Unit 3. Okay. So I'll go to that page. Here it is. Alright. And then I'll go to the next page, which is transformations. Make sure I mark my page number 45. Then I'll go back to my table of contents and I'll write it in. So I have page 45. And actually it's a two-sided, so that would be 45 through 46 because it was two sides. And that was transformations. Of absolute value functions. Okay. And then I'll just keep doing that. So let's do one more. Go to the next page, page 47. That was warm up 1.15. So I'll just put in page 47, warm up 1.15. All right, and that's it. So you would just continue doing that until you got to the last page of your notebook. Now to what I will grade your notebook on. I will be using the rubric. Okay, so you can read over your rubric to see what you can do to get the maximum amount of points. And I'll put your score over here underneath score. Okay. All right. So neatness and organization. Handwriting is neat. I just want to make sure that you're not writing all over the page. That your problems flow in a neat manner. I'm not expecting you to have perfect handwriting. Content accuracy. All information is recorded and is accurate. So I'll be checking for that, making sure that you have the right answers in your notebook, the right steps to the problem. Definitions are correct. Required elements. Your table of contents is up to date. Pages are numbered. No pages have been skipped, and titles are included. And what I'll do is go to your table of contents, and I will pick a random page. Okay, I'll pick page 13. And so when I go to page 13 in your notebook, it needs to be multiplying polynomials notes because that's what it says on your table of contents. So I'm going to go to my page 13. And there I have multiplying polynomials notes. Okay? That's a way I check for accuracy. Okay, I also want to make sure that you guys have all of the stuff that, like the Building Mathematical Community, logins and resources, Mathematician's Toolbox. All of those are part of required elements as well. Illustrations and diagrams, make sure that all of your notes are filled in, all of the blanks on your fill in the blank notes are filled in, all of the diagrams are labeled. I'll be checking that, and I will making sure that they're accurate and clearly labeled. And that's about it. So if you have any questions about your notebook, then you can post them underneath this video, post them on Google Classroom, or ask me tomorrow in class, and I'll see you guys later.